Welcome to the first bit of the pillar weapons compared. I was originally going to do this as a single video, but I'm not in the mood to make a 20-minute video and get my channel buried by the algorithm after not uploading for 2 weeks. I can't really make a weapon overview of 8 weapons fit in like 5 minutes after all. So yeah, stay tuned for the other 3 parts, and onwards with the video. We're going to be going over melee first, because it's Terraria's favorite class, but also because it's rather interesting to go over. Both of these weapons are very well balanced and aren't easily replaced by weapons found earlier in the game. Anyway, our first weapon is the Daybreak, a spear of light made out of fragments of the sun's core. It's rather unique because it attacks enemies twice whenever it hits. When it strikes an enemy, it hits for a base damage of 150, then sticks into the enemy, dealing 100 damage per second. After 5 seconds, it explodes again, dealing area of effect damage equal to the base damage. The best part though is that the Daybreak's debuff can stack. Up to 8 spears can stack into an enemy, dealing up to 800 damage per second, making it the most powerful debuff in the entire game. Meanwhile, our second weapon is the Solar Eruption, a launched flail bursting with solar energy. It fires in a wide arc and has a limited range, but anything hit by it takes rapid damage as long as it contacts the flail arc. Like the Daybreak, it also deals debuff damage, but it does not stack. Like the Daybreak, however, the first enemy it hits will always explode, dealing even more damage. Most of us will now draw a conclusion that the Daybreak is better for single target and the Solar Eruption is better for multi-target due to its piercing. This intuition, however, is only partially true. I am now using a typical damage-focused setup suitable for the pillar stage. As you see, the Daybreak caps at around 3300 DPS, that being 2500 DPS plus 800 from debuffs. And the Solar Eruption deals around 3600 DPS with 100 DPS of that coming from debuffs. The Solar Eruption is beating the Daybreak at single target. How is this? Well, it's the flail arc of the Solar Eruption. At very close range, the flail is basically always in contact with the dummy, allowing me to achieve an extremely high damage number. While even 10 blocks back and our damage lead melts down to nothing, and 20 blocks away we're barely doing 2000 damage per second. In fact, distance is the pure enemy of the Solar Eruption. The farthest it can even hit an enemy is around 35 blocks away, which is not ideal for the one boss we're trying to fight, the Moon Lord. And at the distance, it's only dealing around 1500 damage per second as well. Aside from compensating for gravity, the Daybreak suffers no such loss over this distance, having a much longer effective range. So, what does this mean? The Daybreak is, in my opinion, the undisputed champion of the two for the Moonlord fight. First, the extended range over the Solar Eruption gives you so much more flexibility in your movement, as you don't need to be right up Moonlord's ass to deal damage. Secondly, damage over time is crucial. Obviously, you aren't going to be able to land hits 100% of the time during the Moonlord fight, even if the eyes are open, so the extreme damage over time covers about a third of your damage output whenever you're not firing for a bit. It also gives you much more flexibility in gear. Since damage over time is constant regardless of gear, you aren't losing as much damage potential when you're using a tanky setup versus a damaging setup. Lastly, there are the Daybreak's nuances. Unlike the Solar Eruption, it can benefit from melee speed bonuses, albeit indirectly. It simply fires with increased velocity, which makes aiming easier and the gravity drop less apparent. While this isn't major, it is something. Also, Daybreaks don't waste damage when the eye closes. Ever since 1.4.1.1, the Daybreak will explode whenever the eye is attached to closes, making sure you get the most out of your attached spears. The Solar Eruption, meanwhile, benefits the most from its piercing ability. It deals more damage at close range and has a much larger area of denial. It also has much more utility later in the game. Whereas the Daybreak is basically immediately made redundant by post-Moonlord swords, the wide sweep and ability to attack through blocks of the Solar Eruption remains relevant until you acquire the Zenith. While it is inferior for the Moonlord fight, it is by far the best for clearing the remaining 3 pillars, or possibly the Martian Madness, if you haven't done that yet. So, if the pillars shafted you and only have enough fragments to craft one, which one should you craft? If you already have a really good clearing weapon like the Terra Blade, I would recommend crafting the Daybreak, as it is a superior weapon for fighting the Moonlord itself. If you don't though, you'll probably want the Solar Eruption to be able to clear the remaining 3 pillars faster. The pillars are annoying holes, and you'll probably want to get them over with as easily as possible. Alas, here's the final judgment. I might piss off a select few people, but my personal win must go to the Daybreak, albeit slightly. I personally like it more due to its more responsive feel, owing to its faster velocity and fire rate, and the ability to maintain a safe distance. The lack of multi-target damage is significant, but the addition of the Expiry Explosion makes this not as noticeable. This decimates large crowds of enemies, and any enemy you want to hit explodes instantly, shredding through low health enemies. While it is not as powerful as the Flail of the Eruption, it isn't bad by any means. I do believe the Daybreak gets a bad rap from the days before this explosion was implemented, but with it, it's truly an equal or superior partner to the Eruption after this buff. But all of you play differently, and both are extremely strong weapons. In the grand scheme of things, I have to make my judgment. Daybreak earns an A+, and the Solar Eruption will earn an A. Hello, if you enjoyed the series, join the roughly 15% of my viewers and subscribe to the channel. We'll probably continue to do more similar content in the future. For For now though, thank you for watching, good day, and goodbye.